Hey there, it's Franny with Ampersand Studios here. I'm going to take you behind the scenes on a little shoot that I did last night. It's almost 4th of July and I wanted to do a little tutorial to show you guys that it's actually easy to make beautiful photos with sparklers. No more being disappointed with those photos you get from shooting on auto or with an on-camera flash. So grab your camera, switch it into manual mode. Don't be scared, I'm going to walk you through it. You'll also need a tripod and of course a friend with some sparklers. And at the end of the video, I'm going to show you exactly how I edited this photo, and you can even download my free Lightroom preset that I made for you guys that I used to edit all of these images. Okay, so in this video, we're mostly going to be talking about shutter speed. The amount of time that your shutter is open is your shutter speed, and that's what's going to change the way sparklers look the most. If you have a really super fast shutter speed, like in this photo, you'll see every little spark of the sparklers. See how you can see all the little sparks kind of flying away from it there? That's going to be a fast shutter speed. This was shot at 1/2000th of a second. So I would set my shutter speed first and then compensate with everything else to get the exposure that I'm going for. So this one specifically is shot at f2.2 and the ISO is at 800. I'm going to show you in the next photo what it looks like when we slow the shutter speed down. And I couldn't do any like really long exposures yet because it just wasn't dark enough outside. If I leave my shutter open really long and it's still light outside, it'll just flood my image with light. So you have to wait for it to get darker in order to do really long exposures. Okay, so in this photo, I slowed it down. This one is shot at 100 ISO. My aperture was at 2.8 and my shutter speed is at a 40th of a second. Now that's pretty slow for being handheld, so you're going to want to put your camera on a tripod when you start shooting at a shutter speed of under 1/100th of a second. So on this one you can see that the lines of the sparklers are kind of starting to make little lines coming out. Instead of seeing every little spark, you can see the light traveling away from the center of the sparkler, which is really cool, right? So as you know, you see the pictures where people are drawing with the sparklers, which we're going to get to next. We're kind of halfway there on this one. So we're at a 40th of a second and 2.8 ISO 100. This is the kind of look that you're going to get with these settings. And unless you want to show motion blur in the photo, you're going to want to ask your model to hold really still when you're shooting at a slow shutter speed like this if you want them to look mostly in focus. And since I'm shooting on a wide aperture, it's going to give me a really nice bokeh depth of field, so really the sparkler is what's in the foreground going on here. And it doesn't really matter if she moves a little bit back there, but ideally you want them to hold as still as possible. Now in this photo, I really wanted to demonstrate what it looked like to draw with light, paint with light, but it still wasn't quite dark enough outside, and we were running out of sparklers, so I just did it anyway. In order to be able to keep my shutter open for a full second, I had to close my aperture all the way down to f16. So this is shot at f16, my ISO is at 100, and the shutter is left open for a full second, which doesn't sound like a long time, but it is a long time in the photography world. So the longer you leave it open, the whole time that you're moving something around within the photo, the light is going to create a light path, a light, painting with light. This is where you can write words, you can draw pictures. You have to leave the shutter open the entire length of what you're trying to draw, which when it's not pitch dark outside, you can't leave it open super long or you're going to just let way too much light into the photo and it's going to be super overexposed. So after the girls left, I had my little 10-year-old kid come outside and demonstrate this for us too. So once it gets really dark outside, if you don't have any ambient light around you, which is ideal, you can set your camera on a tripod. You can leave that shutter open as long as you want and just keep testing it. I've done some long exposures where I've left the shutter open for like 5, 8, even 10 seconds, and they can look really cool. But if there's like a car or a house light or anything around you, a street light, it can, over that much time, it can leak into your photo and cause it to be overexposed. But in this case, we left it open for 2 seconds, and I told him to just make circles, and so this is what that's going to look like. Now the other thing that's really cool you can experiment with is if Carter would have been running around while making the circles, as long as he was constantly moving, he actually wouldn't even show up in the photo at all. So that's how you can get a really cool picture, which you'll see in the montage next, where the girls are running around and you can only see the light trail. So just experiment with this stuff. It's super fun, and keep that shutter open for a long time and just compensate with your other settings to make sure that you're not overexposing your image. Here's some examples of the shots that we got at the shoot. All right, now let's get into the editing here. So download the presets that I've given you in this video, down below this video, and then come back. You're gonna wanna make sure you're in Lightroom CC, not Lightroom Classic, because this is the one that syncs to your phone. And we're just gonna import this preset on here so that it shows up on your phone, and then I'm gonna show you how to edit this on your phone. So just click on the preset, hit download. It says that it's imported. Just double check that it's there. There it is. And now we're going to wait for it to sync for a second. As long as your Lightroom is on the same account as your phone, it should just show up in your presets. Okay, so now I'm going to head over to my phone. I airdropped the photo to myself, and I'm opening it up in Lens Distortions. This app is really cool. We're going to add some light flare and some lens distortions here to this photo. So first I'm just playing with it. I did this little principal lights and just like make it really small. I placed it right on top of that sparkler. You can play with this app. You can change the brightness and the opacity and everything. And then I clicked on add another layer. I'm gonna go way down here and add this eclipse, which I actually loved it exactly how it is. I kind of just played with it, resized it, moved it around until it kind of looks like maybe it made a lens distortion right there from where the sparkler is. And with the free version of this app, you can add 3 layers. So I thought, what the heck, let's add another one. And you can do them really minimal. So this one, I thought I'd just add up in the top left corner there to kind of make a little extra something, like maybe that light is shooting across the frame and I'm making it really just faint up in the corner. And then I'm even going to bring the opacity on it down a little bit. Then I just export the photo and save it as large as you can. And now I'm going to go back into my photos and open that in Lightroom. And we're going to apply the preset on top of all of those adjustments. So I recommend doing the preset last so that it can kind of apply the manipulations to the color on top of everything, including the lens distortions that you just added, which is going to make the color kind of match. So there it is, Hey Sparklers, the preset there. And this preset's not going to look the same on every photo, so you're still going to want to go in and kind of tweak some things. On this one, it just felt a little bit too warm, so I kind of cooled it down a little. Play with the exposure and the contrast if you want. Just get it to right where you like it, and there you go. Super easy, so have fun with this preset and have fun with the Lens Distortions app, and I would absolutely love, love, love to see what you guys come up with. So tag me in your photos at @ampersand_studios, or you can even just send them to me in a DM. And that's it. I hope you guys loved this video, and if you did, like, subscribe, all those things. And drop in the comments if you have tried any of these things, if you have any other tips that have worked for you, and just let us know how it goes. Happy 4th of July, and please, please remember to be super safe when you're playing with fireworks.